Okay, it's beach body season. So if you feel like you have to spend hours at the gym every single day, if you feel like you never have to eat, you can never eat a carb again in your life, and you can't enjoy any drinks from now until you make it to the beach, think again. Because today we're going to share with you different strategies, tips, tools to be confident in your body on the beach this summer without having to do all of those things to the extreme. Welcome to another episode of Espresso with Erin Street. I'm Erin.
And I'm great, and we're very excited to be here with you today.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first tip when it comes to being beach ready. I remember when we just met, and when Erin and I just met, we were both personal trainers, and we would talk about each other's philosophies, and I'll never forget the philosophy that you shared with me. You never have to get ready if you stay ready. So
I want to stay ready. It was a motto, stay ready so you never have to get ready.
So I want to hone in on this because it is a way of thinking that would actually, like touch everything else that we talk about in this video. And
this is the ultimate goal. Stay ready so you never have to get ready.
Right? Yeah, something that we stand for is, like be beach ready or be six-pack ready or whatever thing it is that, it's kind of like the thing that you're chasing or going towards, the quote unquote hashtag 365, right? So 365 days. So why do I share this with you? Because the way that we see it is that you should approach being bikini ready, beach ready, whatever ready it is that you want to be for 365 days of the year by incorporating a lifestyle rather than a diet.
So if you want that, drop 365 in the comments.
365.
365.
So, like having an approach of I am building a lifestyle rather I am going on a diet. Because let's be real. How many of you have done endless diets in the past? Or maybe it's felt like for the last 10 or 20 or 30 years prior to you, immersing yourself in this community and these teachings, you feel like you've been on an endless diet. If you feel like this is you, then please go ahead and drop a yes.
I want to share a post that I just read from our group this morning, and it will inspire you. And also, can somebody tag Chrissy Hanlon? Chrissy said just this morning, our first all-inclusive family holiday since being a part of this amazing community, feeling very grateful for all the things I have learned. I think she did that on purpose. First, learn, still stayed consistent with my workout, did underestimate how it would be working out in 30-degree heat. I don't know, maybe
Celsius.
Yeah, Celsius.
That's like 80 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, on the plus side, don't need a sauna. Second, I learned how I can still enjoy healthy food and find food I haven't had to my diet previously and make better than choices. Third, learn that it's okay to enjoy an alcoholic drink in moderation. Again, choosing the cleaner ones. I would normally have dieted for 3 months to accommodate going away and felt starving, and I would have put back on all the weight within 3 to 4 days of being on the vacation and felt miserable and unable to enjoy the holiday, but not anymore. Can truly say I'm living my best life and can recommend Erin Atwood and Suri for their amazing teachings. I have battled this issue for over 43 years.
Wow.
Not anymore, thanks to them, but also she did the work. I have the mindset I've always wanted to learn and understand more and help anyone else who needs it. So they went on an all-inclusive family vacay, and it's the first time she didn't feel like she had to starve herself or go nuts, so bonkers for, the few weeks leading up to the vacation so that she could feel okay about herself. Then while she's there, understanding that I can make better than choices, still enjoy my vacation. Like, if you would love to be able to enjoy your vacation and still make progress toward your goals, not come back weighing 10 pounds more or feeling guilty or shameful or bad about yourself, drop a vacation in the chat, in the comments. Because that's massive. And that's ultimately what we're talking about. Now, there's some things that we can do within a shorter time frame to say, how can I gain confidence? How can I feel better? Because summer's like what, officially in a week or a couple weeks, something like that. First day
Yeah, summer solstice is in 2 days, guys. Longest day of the year.
So there are some things that we could do in a short amount of time. Ultimately, though, what we are working towards is stay ready so you never have to get ready.
Yeah. And I actually, I wanna lean on this real quick before we go into other quote unquote tactics. It's, if you've gone to college or have gotten your education at a higher level, and perhaps, there was a lot of studying that you had to do prior to an exam, or like a final or midterm, or whatever things you call it based on where you come from. I want you to approach this in the sense of, I am consistently studying so I can actually understand the material, rather than cramming for your midterm or for your final the night before. By the way, go ahead and drop a C for cram. If when you were in college or in high school, or in, maybe if you got higher education, your approach was to cram for your exams. I know that that's how I used to approach it, because I didn't have my systems in place back then, right? So just like how I approach my nutrition is also how I approach my schooling. How you do one thing is how you do everything, right? And what ended up happening is that, like the last 12 hours before the test, I would, over caffeinate myself, eat a whole lot of sugar. I would even like borrow Adderall from my schoolmates who were able to get their hands on it.
I would go to Taco Bell at midnight so that I would stay awake if I was eating.
Yeah, like everything that I could. So I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna set my brain up for success because I'm about to fire hose it like it's nobody's business. So I would fire hose it like it's nobody's business. And then I would go take the test. And then what would happen 24 hours after, the exam? Let's say if my professor or a friend or anybody was to ask me that question.
I don't need it anymore.
I wouldn't remember anything. Why do I share this with you? Because when you cram anything in life, it does not last. So whether it's with regards to your education, or whether it's with regards to, any other action step, right? When you approach this bikini body in a 365 kind of way, you're setting yourself up, because what you're doing is you're working on building habits which have a compound effect. And by the way, as time magnifies, the compound effect continues to compound, which means that the more you're setting yourself up for success versus living the cramming diet lifestyle, where you're gonna like fire hose your lifestyle habits. You're gonna go from, like being inconsistent with your workouts and with your eating to, okay, I'm gonna work out 2 times a day. I'm gonna drink a gallon of water. I'm gonna, like eat nothing but chicken breast and broccoli, and I'm gonna drop 10 pounds in 10 days. Awesome. Now, what's gonna happen if you approach your life in this way? Sure, maybe you're gonna drop 10 pounds and you're gonna feel great about it in the moment. You're gonna get the instant gratification. However, what's gonna happen during vacation and after vacation?
Yeah, I mean, if you've been through it, it's the yo-yo.
Yeah.
Right? If you've been through it, it's yo-yo. And either like only one of you, 2 of you are the study crammers, or nobody's participating. So participation is highly encouraged here. And we were just talking about, the yo-yo. So I mean, if you've experienced a foot yo-yo, like I'm even wondering if we need to go any deeper into that. That's like the, 90% of people I talk to, that's been the experience.
Mhm.
All in, all out, all in, all out, all in, all out.
Yeah. So we will go to tactics next, and everybody always wants to learn the tactics, the mechanics. But let me tell you something. The tactics is 10%. It's the mindset behind it that, shifts everything. And that's why we start with the 365 way of life, working on one thing at a time and continuing to compound that over time versus stop and go, stop and go, and stop and go. Like, sure, your ego, I'll say it again, your ego will feel really good about it in the moment, maybe when you're taking your shirt off, but what's going to happen afterwards when you get back home and a week later, right? Our point is to help you to set yourself up for success so that not just physically, also emotionally and mentally. Like, you don't feel like you have to live your life with just drained or on a super high, drained or on a super high. What if you can be like even keel and continuing to have higher highs over time? And when the lows come, they're not as low, right? So that's thing number one. Okay. It is the mindset of 365 and building a lifestyle rather than, I'm going to treat it like a diet and end up yo-yoing for a really long time.
I'm going to share something that many of you probably don't think would be true about me, which is I have moments where I let things slide and I start to notice changes in my body that I'm not comfortable with, that I don't like. And when I look in the mirror, I'm tempted to also criticize myself. I'm tempted to bully myself. And that these are behaviors that, they're so ingrained in most of us that to completely obliterate them is, I believe it's possible. I also believe that it's something that would take quite some time and quite some practice. And so, each person though remains 100% susceptible to those behaviors, regardless of how far we've come, regardless of how fit or in shape we look, or regardless of how confident we seem on the outside. So I currently weigh like 145 pounds, and I'm the most confident around 140. I haven't been as disciplined. I've let things slide. I've not cared as much about certain things. Now, does that mean I'm eating like McDonald's and stuff all the time? No. However, the point of this is, what do I do to get myself to feel better about me so that I want to continue taking positive action? Because a lot of times it's like we can take positive action, but then as soon as the motivation goes away, which we talked about, I believe, last week, we just want to quit. So what's something that you do immediately to boost your confidence is to follow through with whatever it is that you said you were going to do.
Mm.
Follow through with whatever it is that you said you're going to do. So even if the weight doesn't come off immediately, even if your body doesn't change immediately, you feel better because you are respecting yourself, you're following through, you're keeping your promises to yourself. And those things automatically boost your confidence. So if you've ever seen, I'm going to give you a visual right now. Have you ever seen like a girl on the beach who is, let's just say she's overweight. Okay, let's call it like it is. Okay, girl on the beach in a bikini, overweight, but she's like, I don't give a shit, right? Like so confident, just like kicking it around, like whatever. And you're like, oh, I wouldn't feel that confident like that. It's perspective. It's how far have you come? It's what have you done for yourself? It's how well do you treat yourself? Because those are the things that give us more confidence than simply the way that we look.
1000%.
So somebody might look and say, oh, like whatever they want to say. I don't know. We're all judgmental to a degree, but people who don't understand that they're judgmental or whatever are going to say something about that, like, um, oh, I can't believe she's so confident. Why? Because you wouldn't be. So ultimately, it's what we do that gives us confidence in ourselves. And ultimately, when you do enough of that thing consistently enough, long enough, you get what you think you want, which is whatever, a bikini body or just a body that you feel more comfortable in a swimsuit at the beach, or not wearing a t-shirt and shorts or something. I don't know, whatever it is for you. And ultimately, that's not what you want. You want whatever it is that gives you. Maybe confidence, maybe like higher self-esteem, maybe pride in yourself. Maybe you do want people to judge you. You just don't want them to judge you the way you think they're currently judging you, based on the way that you judge yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be admired and not, you want to be looked at in admiration and not disgust. But ultimately, you don't know what anybody else is thinking about you. You think that they're thinking whatever you think when you see yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Did you follow?
And confidence, by the end of the day, it's not a number on the scale. It's a byproduct of follow through and trust, right? So, like, for example, let's say that girl who's in the bikini, maybe she weighs 180 pounds and she's the most confident she's ever been. It is all perspective, because what if she had followed through consistently for an entire year, and
she used to weigh 250.
Right, and she used to weigh 280? Of course she's going, so again, it's important to understand the concept of perspective, and that confidence, by the end of the day, it's not a certain size or a certain number on the scale, but rather it is a byproduct of follow through and consistency, right? Um, so, with that, as we dive deeper with regards to follow through and consistency, let's go over some lifestyle habits to incorporate that would be helpful. So, first and foremost, when it comes to manipulation, we might think that we need to live in the gym or work out 2 times a day. When it actually comes to working out, that is a small sliver to the piece of the entire pie. However, because that is the first thing that we think about, let's just talk about it first. So, with regards to working out, just again, because we're talking about consistency, what is a training method or a training program that is fun, safe, and effective that you could follow through with consistency between now and, let's say the next time that you go to the beach or on vacation or whatever? And you might think to yourself, okay, well, Erin, so what does consistently mean for me? So if you've been like zero consistency up until now, I would say start with 3 times a week. With whatever is fun, safe, and effective, that you are like at a 10 out of 10 with regards to following through. Now, if you've been, let's say, working out about 3 times a week, then bump it up to 4. And if you've been working out consistently 4 times a week, bump it up to 5. Okay. Movement is food and food is medicine. Our body was designed to move. Okay. Consistency has levels. You don't go from inconsistent to Michael Jordan. We may want to, our ego may want to, but from what we are capable of without trying ourselves out, like, let's lead with levels by playing the long-term game rather than crying ourselves out, not being able to recover, and then having to take 3 steps back. Cool? So that is with regards to movement. And maybe we can drop the link for the 14-day Rise Above workout program if anybody is like, I don't know what to do for my workout.
Yeah, hopefully it's set up.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to drop a link, and in the case that it works, great. If not, you can also reach out to us. And with regards to nutrition, there's a lot of things we can talk about. However, if I can just put it under one blanket, it would be called functional nutrition. Functional nutrition. You might think, okay, what does that mean? What that means is eating with a purpose. Eating with a purpose. So, of course, there's a lot of principles that we have and a lot of philosophies that we have about nutrition. Now, if you were to just ask yourself one question, and the question before you put anything in your mouth, what is the purpose of this? And if it has anything to do with filling in a void or an emotion, then it's simply for comfort. It is not for function.
Yeah, is it to make me feel better emotionally?
Yeah. Nobody eats like a pound or even 5 pounds of carrots because they're being emotional. However, we will eat a tub of ice cream. Yes? Drop a yes if this has been you before, right? So functional nutrition, what it stands for is eating with a purpose. So just simply asking your question of the question of what is the purpose of me eating this right now? Because everybody wants to know, oh, Aaron and Sri, what do you think about keto? What do you think about intermittent fasting? What do you think about meal timing? How many protein should I have after my workout? These are all like small little sliver of stuff. If you were to simply ask yourself that question and fully lead with that, be disciplined enough to lead with that, guarantee you're going to go so much further than you would with anything else. Okay? Because that gives us a good realization of where we are. Because when we eat any processed foods, when we eat, soul food or comfort foods, it is not for the purpose. The purpose could be to comfort ourselves. However, if we have the habit of comforting ourselves through food, then that is not a habit that will set you up for success, which is a completely different conversation. Okay, so what is the purpose of me eating this thing? Okay, eating on purpose, eating means that you're nourishing your body. We have a digestive system, right, that begins with our mouth and ends in the you know what?
Bungholio.
Yeah.
Count on me to say it.
In order to give us nourishment, processed food, comfort food, it has no nourishment in it. And by the way, it does not nourish your soul because you're going to feel worse about it afterwards. You're either going to feel guilty about it, you'll either feel like you'll want to get that extra hit of sugar again or that extra hit of salt again. You're going to start creating dependencies on it. Okay, so having a purpose of nourishing your body. Okay, vegetables, fruit, proteins, low glycemic carbs, and high quality fats. Simple. Let's forget the diets that people, talk about like it's religion. Are you intermittent fasting or are you keto? Are you a Muslim or are you a Christian? Who cares? Follow the philosophy. Okay, are you eating for nourishment overall? Fruit Loops were not created for nourishment. Blueberries were created for nourishment. If it came from Mother Nature, God gave it to you to nourish you. If it came from the aisle in a box, maybe it was created for nourishment. Maybe it wasn't. Just use your common sense. Just use your common sense, right? Like we're not gonna eat candy or like ice cream or cake for nourishment.
Cheeto puffs.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that. Okay. So if you're following, drop an F. Drop an F. Now,
do you have more?
Yeah. Rest and restoration. Give yourself some time for rest and restoration. Okay, so sleep. How much sleep are you getting per day? If you don't know, creating awareness over it will be probably your first step. Ideally, you want to shoot for 7 hours because whatever it is that you do during the day, whether it's with your training, with your nutrition, with whatever it may be, your level of productivity of what you do during the day will increase tremendously when you give your body and your mind the rest and restoration that it needs. This
It's
was the
true.
conversation we had yesterday.
Yeah, when you're more tired, when you're not recovered, you have cravings that you wouldn't have if you were fully recovered. You're hungrier than you would have been if you were more recovered. So sleep actually plays a massive role in cravings and hunger levels. So, you know, it's not only the number of hours that are slept, but the quality of sleep in those hours too. Uh, the you have more tips.
One more.
Okay.
Hydration. Begin by shooting for half your body weight in pounds and ounces of water per day. If you're not even remotely close, that would be a benchmark. If you're there, you can push it by 10 ounces.
So if you weigh 200, drink 100 ounces
Yeah,
per day.
that should be your target.
And it really isn't as hard as most people think. So I'll give you a tip. I keep one of these by my bed. By the way, you can get these ones at shop.aaronandsarit.com. Shop.aaronandsarit.com. Okay. Anywho, actually, you get the newer one. I keep one of these by my bed, and right when I wake up, I'd start chugging. I'm like, my goal is to finish this whole thing before I get to the kitchen and have coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Because then I already know, boom, I'm like 24, 26 ounces, however much this is. I think I counted as 24.
Yeah.
I'm already 24 ounces in, right? So sometimes it's about having that target and knowing where am I at throughout the day to stay on target. So those are the tactical, right? Tips. The overarching big picture is, have anybody ever heard of the term self-care? Self-love, self-care. I'm curious to know what you guys think the difference, if there is any, between self-love and self-care. But I looked at the definition of love and I looked at the definition of care, because self is the same in either of them. It applies to me, self, myself. I also looked up the word respect, because I don't think that self-respect is ever talked about in a weight loss journey. So the definition of love is an intense feeling of deep affection. Do you have an intense feeling of deep affection for yourself?
Drop a yes or a no.
The other one is a great interest and pleasure in. Do you have a great interest and pleasure in yourself? Interest. Wow, who am I? What do I like? Why do I like that? Why did I respond that way? Why did I feel that way? Why did that somebody said that to me make me feel that way? Like, do you have an interest in yourself? This is love, right? The definition of care is the provision of what is necessary for the health, wealth, welfare, maintenance, and protection of someone or something. Serious attention or consideration applied to. Do you give yourself serious attention and consideration? Do you feel concern or interest in yourself? Do you look after yourself? Do you provide for the needs of yourself? All of those things are care. Look after and provide for the needs of, feel concern or interest, attach importance to. Do you attach much importance to yourself? Do you show serious attention to yourself and consider yourself? That's self-care. That would be working out. That would be, eating well. That would be taking time for yourself. That would be sometimes putting yourself first. And then respect. The feeling of deep admiration for someone or something. Due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of. To admire deeply as a result of their abilities, qualities, or achievements. Do you admire yourself for your abilities, qualities, and achievements?
Mm.
Do you regard yourself for your feelings, wishes, rights, traditions? Do you have deep admiration for yourself, for your abilities, qualities, achievements? So to sum all these up, the way that I think about this is to show myself love, care, and respect means I take time to do things for myself that show myself I'm important, that I matter, and I that I'm important, that I matter, and I'm worth the time. I'm worth the energy. I'm worth the money. I'm worth the relationship.
Mhm.
What are those things that you do that prove to yourself that you are important, that you are worth the time, that you are worth the energy, the money, the relationship? Love, care, and respect. If you do those things for you, you will get where you want to go.
Mhm.
So I'm not respecting my body if I'm putting McDonald's in it, right? Not respecting my physical shape or caring about my physical well-being if I'm putting in, Cheetos and Ding Dongs and Taco Bell and ice cream and every once in a while, sometimes, right? I'm not loving myself if I'm looking at myself being a bully to myself.
Mhm.
So, what are the things that you get to do that show you that you love you, that you care about you, and that you respect you?
Mhm.
Those things will give you confidence when you walk on the beach.
Yeah, I wanna say one more thing with regards to um, loving ourselves. Something that we hear often these days is the whole concept of you are enough. I believe that each and every one of us are enough. However, I believe that we are more than that, which means when we look at ourselves as I am enough, it's easy to think that, okay, this is that I hit my ceiling. I am enough. So let me treat myself with ice cream. Let me treat myself with something where it's like, yes, I am enough the way that I am, but I am capable of so much more. Therefore, I will not slack on myself when the alarm hits 6 a.m. and hit snooze because I am enough. So, like, okay, let me stay in bed for a little bit. Or I am enough. I will, treat myself with this and that for lunch or after work because I had a hard day. The self, let's raise our standards as women and start saying to ourselves, not only are you enough, you are you are more than that. So therefore, do not settle for just being enough.
Yeah, I am enough is not a justification to not get better. I am enough is an understanding with yourself that I am where I am. I still appreciate me and I get to get better. I read a post by Ed Milet this morning that says self love doesn't mean that you just accept everything about yourself as if nothing needs to change.
Come on,
Self love is loving yourself enough to be honest about what needs to change.
come on. Exactly that.
Thanks, Ed.
So let's remember that because ultimately I believe that that's what love is all about. There be being kind to ourselves, regardless of our quote unquote false, regardless of our imperfections, regardless of our cellulite or stretch mark or whatever it may be. At the same time, also reaching for more, because this is a journey of self-actualization.
Because you can too.
Yeah. Well, no, because we're all here for a greater purpose. Whether we realize what it is or not, we're here for something bigger. So to just settle with the I am enough is not enough.
Sadhguru says we're not human beings, we're human becomings.
Mm-hmm.
So are you being, are you just being, or are you becoming? It's a good question.
Let's think about it.
Yep. So anywho, as always, if you would like any extended help, if you don't have any kind of game plan as far as what you're doing, you're not, in any of our programs, you don't have any assistance or accountability or anything of that kind, always, you can jump into our Facebook group, Erin and Sarit, jump in the Facebook group. You can also reach out, send me an email, Erin@erinsarit.com. Happy to chat with you from wherever you're at to help you move forward. If it's been something that has been hard for you for years and years and years, stop trying to do it by yourself. No matter where you go, what direction you go, stop trying to do it by yourself. Because as we all know here, if you've been in any of our programs, which many of you I see in the chat have or are currently, it takes an army to move a mountain, and it takes a team. So, we get to lean on each other, we get to support one another, and that's how we get to go further. So hope you have a blessed day. By the way, happy Juneteenth today. Yay, freedom. Absolutely. Hello. Thank you. And we wish you guys a beautiful day and a beautiful rest of your week. See ya.